Do I actually sound decent?
It's a little metallic. You sound fine. Lisa sounds like she's in a
Submarine?
storage locker. Yeah, exactly.
I am in a storage locker.
I'm going low tech with the Playtronics headset today.
I don't know. It's gonna sound good. I got my fancy mic.
I don't understand why I don't have an option to block my camera.
An option to what?
Block my camera.
Block it?
Yeah, or to put just like a little thing on there.
Yeah. Well, here I might be able to turn it off for you. Hide from broadcast. Yeah, there you go. Going on, Abe.
Let me see. I need to get the RFQ in front of me. Lisa? What was the email that it was on? Okay, you're overmodulated. Like back away from your mic a little bit, or try that a little bit. Let me see. Business registration. Yeah, I thought I had it, but I don't.
Here, I'll forward it.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Although I don't think the Derry, I don't think the one you sent me has any attachments though.
Or does it? Wait. There we go. Yeah. That one does. My fault.
Okay.
Bragg SOW.
Oh yeah. Okay. There we go. All right. So the reason I want to Abe on this is, well, I want someone from Jetco on all this. I just didn't know who exactly to ask from Jetco on this, because I thought that someone could see how Derry and I and Lisa go through these, and because if our foundation is flawed from the beginning from going through these RFQs, then we're not going to have a good result. So it's good that we kind of get the foundation set before trying to get the rest of these. So, Derry, I don't know if you want me to kind of like take the lead and we can just go through this, or if you want to do the same thing and you kind of host and go through it, but we can just sort of like talk through what this RFQ is, and kind of decide. Initially, it looks good. It looks like something we want to pursue, but as we usually get down in the nitty gritty, there's things we overlook or don't have answers to. So I can either go through this, or you can go through it, and then Abe can kind of referee this and kind of be there to tell us what we're doing good and bad and indifferently.
Yeah, you can drive. I only had a couple points of contention, so you might have caught more stuff than I did. And most of my stuff's towards the end too. So,
so then, because I haven't even had a chance to go through this a lot, so why don't? Okay, then that's good. I'll drive. So basically, why don't you just start by saying what your understanding of, in your own words, what your understanding of this project is?
Yeah, basically, they just want a document management system. It sounded like a lot of their asks are basically accomplished by building a document management system. So a lot of the first set of bullet points, as far as the following requirements go, are basically just describing the document management system that they want built. So like, I didn't have much to say about those first set of bullet points, but then we can talk about the second page a little bit more. But that's basically my understanding of what they're asking for.
And what is it that this agency does? They what?
It's in here. It's integrated with the SEC somehow.
Okay, so basically, okay, any broker or dealer or agent or investment advisor or financial advisor or any of the representatives that does business in the state of Hawaii has to register with this agency. Is that kind of our understanding?
Right, but then there's also
Okay. Because what gets me as the acronyms throw me off because they say the SEC, but they're saying the SEC is this branch. So how is that the SEC? But uh-huh.
I think the securities compliance branch is just a sub group of the SEC.
Okay. But overall, this is basically the Department of Consumer Commerce and Consumer Affairs, I guess, and Business Registration Division. Okay, so they want a document management system in your understanding, the document management system again, meaning like they can upload PDFs. Like
Yeah,
what?
right. Well, yeah, it's basically just like a file management system, but then with various levels of tracking. Which is
Process.
sorry,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but uh, like they just want to log actions based on what user interacted with or uploaded a document or anything like that.
So who would actually upload the document? Someone who is working for the government or a someone who's registering for this site kind of thing?
I think it'd be someone working for the government, like case man, yeah, like case managers or uh, legal representatives from the government would have access to this.
Okay. And so yeah, this is so skimpy. And so what is our understanding of what type of documents are going to so I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. So someone, a government agency, a government worker or a legal representative uploads PDFs. Do we know it's PDFs? Because I'm just saying PDFs and I don't even know.
I don't. They don't mention PDFs anywhere on here, but I can't imagine. I mean, maybe Word docs, but I don't think they're uploading anything too crazy.
Yeah, which that doesn't that just means that's the database that they're using. It doesn't really speak to what format the documents are coming in, but we already missed Q&A on this, right? So we can't be like what format of the, yeah, they're not. it's weird. They're not looking for a timeline at all.
No, they mentioned 8 months at some point in here.
This is what throws me off. It's like project milestones, payment schedules, etc., will be mutually agreed upon after contract award.
Yeah, right after that though, they say the project's completion timeline is 8 months. There's
right. So it's like yeah, we'll agree upon the milestones, but they have to be within 8 months. So,
yeah, it's the classic agile waterfall methodology.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. Like okay. Well, I think to have any sense of how much this is going to cost, especially because they say we may ask you to where does it say this? BREG may, at its discretion, direct bidder to convert selected documents from the existing system to the new system. So we kind of have to know what format these documents are stored in.
Unless convert just means move.
right. And that's right. Convert may just mean move. And again, they may just be looking for something like a box.net or a Dropbox or a Google Drive where it's just something where they can upload anything. A document could literally be anything. It could be a PDF. It could be a docx. It could be a PNG. They could just be looking for straight up document storage where a document is anything.
Right. Lisa, are you tracking like questions to ask? Yeah, or what formats do we need to cover? I mean, there's lots of questions on the second page for me. What file formats are they going to be working with? Is it going to be limited to PDF and docs, or are they going to want to be able to upload basically anything? Which it's not really going to change the implementation too much. It's just we need to know what's expected of us as far as what formats the application needs to work with. Yeah, that's good.
This is interesting because it says so. Okay, so basically, let's just assume. I mean, for the sake of cost, the most expensive option would be supporting anything, right? That would be the most expensive. It would only our costs would only come down if they were like, no, we only want to support PDF.
Right.
Unless, of course, they're like, but if we upload a docx, we want it to be automatically converted to a PDF. When that would expand costs. But and again, these things are sometimes so poorly written. I'm not even sure. It says, to your point, Derry, on the second page, it says SEB requires a system requirement R.
Yeah, just skip past that grammar. I saw that too.
So, but is it
requires a system that does the following? Is how that should be read.
Okay, is that what it's saying? Here's the requirements.
That's my understanding of it.
Okay. So,
but getting to that second set of bullet points, that's where like a lot of questions come up for me. So
yeah, go ahead.
The second bullet point: maintain calendar, schedule, and assign field exams. I don't know if that needs to be internal to the application or if they already have an existing calendar that somehow needs to be integrated into the application, because that's if we have to build an entire calendar and scheduling system, that's going to add a ton of cost and time.
That's
although it can't really add time. It has to be within 8 months. The question would be, what are the requirements for the second bullet point? Maintain calendar, schedule, and assign field exams.
Yeah, it's kind of like
asking for.
Yeah, I think the question would be like the question would be sort of like, is the agency already using a calendar and scheduling system that they want this document management application to be integrated with, or do they want us to build a calendar and schedule solution that is included with the document management application?
Or do they want us to port the existing solution into the new application? I guess would be a third option.
Well, the beauty part of this is it's being recorded, so you can go back and and review this if you need the exact terminology, Lisa. We can keep clarifying, but just so you know that we will have record of this.
Bullet point number 8, fully integrated with SEB's workflow. That to me is completely entirely vague. I don't know what that means.
Right. That's totally throwaway, because we have no idea what SEB's workflow is. We have no idea. It could be something as simple as like they email
we need
stuff.
To pull the site up every morning when we talk through stuff. Like that could be integrated with SEB's workflow.
Right. Like that
or it could be like a deep integration point where there's like all sorts of API integrations and stuff like that. I have no idea what that requirement actually means.
Yeah. So as a question, that would be something like, not even a question. It's please describe in detail SEB's workflow. I mean, without that answered, we're just taking a large stab at any of this.
Yeah, and I think actually, I mean, I have more questions on the bullet points too. Like number 7, with the scan manual filing and supporting documents for franchise filings received. Like, again, I don't know if they just want to be able to scan a document and upload it to the application, or if there has to be some integration with the application being able to scan in documents somehow.
Right. So, yeah, I see what you're saying. So basically, like, are they saying we want the ability to scan a piece of paper and then upload that piece of paper to the application? Or are they saying we have some sort of intake system where people send us electronic documents and we want this app to be able to scan them?
Well, not electronic documents. Like I almost read that as somebody fills this out, somebody handwrites, uses handwriting, like, and yeah, they almost like that could mean they want like a PDF reader that would intelligently read in a handwritten document and like fill out the relevant application automatically.
Right. So like someone could send in a letter and we would have software that kind of transcribed what was written on that letter into a document and actually filled out.
No, I think more like they download the form, print it out at home, handwrite in all the relevant sections, mail it to them, or like upload it themselves, and the application would read that PDF in and like process the handwritten information.
Gotcha. So we're kind of all over the map, because I interpret it as a third thing. So, I mean, definitely need clarification on that. I mean, even number 1, I had questions on, like, manage all aspects of field exams.
Yeah. What are all the aspects of a field exam?
Well, right. What are the aspects of a field exam? Does that mean we have to like have a timer that like, what I'm saying is like, are the field exams timed? Are we administering these exams? If we are administering these exams, are we responsible for like making sure they don't cheat on the exam? Like I've taken online exams and there's a lot that goes into them. Or is that just saying like we have exam software that at the end of the exam, it produces a document and we need your application that you built to integrate with this exam software and take the document that is produced and put it into the system or whatever.
Like is an FCC field exam like is it basically like what's that certification to become a
Series 8 exam?
Yeah, exactly. So is it similar to that where you basically just have to prove that you know what you're doing just to prevent fraud and stuff like that? Is that a field exam?
Again, I have no idea, and it doesn't expand it at all. So I have no idea.
I mean, I think it would seem that there are actual tests because the third bullet point is attaching the relevant documents to the records. I mean, I think that's clear. That's sort of the integration point of the document management system.
Right.
For field exams. There was another question. Number 6. I'm not sure if they want us to completely rewrite what exists for electronic franchise filings, or if anything actually already exists. But that seems like a major undertaking to write an entire portal for franchise filings. Like that almost seems to me like an 8-month project on its own.
Yeah. So let's take a break. Abe, I think you hear kind of our struggles, which are not unique to this project at all. This is kind of what we go through on almost everyone. Now some of them provide a little bit more detail than this one, but this is kind of normal where we can't even like whittle these down to single questions. So kind of as you're sitting back and listening to us guess at what some of this stuff means, what are your thoughts? Well, yeah, I don't. JavaScript's definitely the tool we would use to build this. I think my concern is we have no idea what we're actually being asked to build. And this, by the way, this is not unusual for us to get in the commercial world, but I can then call the potential client up and say, look, you have manage all aspects of field exams. Can you please expand upon that? Because that could be something that's going to cost you $1,000, or it could be something that costs you $100,000. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that is the range of price there. And like I said, this could be manage all aspects of field exams. They could already have examination software that they're using, and all we have to do is integrate with that. Or they could literally be saying, we want you to build our examination software. And I have no idea which they're asking for. And if they're asking for the latter and they want us to build examination software, what the requirements of that software are. So we could build it in Lego blocks for all that, we know what we're actually building. And I think that's the problem that we're running into for a lot of these bullet points. And then when we come back to the point where we're writing the bids, we're asked to provide very explicit detail on how we're going to solve these problems, but we don't know specifically what problems we're being asked to solve. So it's almost like it's impossible for us to provide specific answers to vague bullet points.
Can I ask a question too? Like, I don't know if our extremely vague SOWs like this an indication of the state of Hawaii already having someone in mind they're going to work with who knows exactly what they're talking about and exactly what they need, and they've already talked about all this. They can put something like, maintain all aspects of field exams, and whatever contractor, who's obviously going to win this bid knows exactly what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
This is the only document that we have from the state of Hawaii. Lisa?
You might be on mute if you're talking.
Did you die?
Did your storage locker float away? I wonder if I can unmute her from this end.
Yeah, she's muted.
No, I can't. Let me see if I can. It might be in this email thread, actually. See if I can track it down. Sounds like a covert operation. That's the email I'm looking at. So this is an RFQ in GSA that Cody and Derry would like to review. An RFQ in GSA.
Okay.
It's a GSA one, I guess.
Yeah, GSA. So Lisa got this one, and she's texting me that that she's on mute and can't get off for some reason.
All right. She goes. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, and that's all good and well. We could certainly write up what we would give them, what we could build them that would give them ability to access documents. However, what you've just described is the exact tack we've been taking on most of our bids, which is we have no idea what they're really talking about. So let's write up kind of a generic system that we could offer them and price it low, since we're not being specific, and hope that we win. And we haven't. And so, and kind of the feedback that we got on the last call was we need to give very specific answers to the explicit points that they address. So I feel like we could easily do that. We could easily write, we'll build you out a Gatsby CMS, and we'll build custom modules for Gatsby CMS, which will allow you to manage documents. We could write that out. We could explain what Gatsby CMS is. We could even explain how we're going to allow them to upload the documents, where we're going to store these documents, how we're going to secure these documents. But I have no idea how to address their bullet point about maintain calendar, schedule, and assign field exams. I have no idea. And I'm picking an example. Most of these I have no idea how to address specifically. Mm-hmm. So how would you go about doing that? Because I have no idea how you would find. I mean, like if you're talking about the big, there's some very big document management providers out there. Like I said, Google Drive is a document management provider. Box.net is a document management provider. Dropbox is a document management provider. Most of those are integrated into custom workflows like this one is talking about. So they're using those things as a backbone for something more custom. So if I were just to Google companies,
field exam management software, doesn't actually turn anything up. But I think that's what we'd have to search for.
Well, I was thinking if you just do document management software, you're probably going to see like 1,000 companies.
Well, yeah, but yeah, and I think more specifically, we'd be looking in this case at software that does exactly what they're asking for, which is to manage field exams and franchise filings. I mean, like I'm trying to think of the specific stuff that isn't document management related. Or integrates with an existing document management solution. So we would have to find, like field exam software or something along those lines, I guess.
And I think
I can't find anything that's field examination related.
Right. And that's the thing where I say kind of we have to know what the integration is, because I did document management software, and there's, like I said, there's thousands of them. And so if their idea of integration is like to be able to go to like a little menu and say export to, and then it's like it emails it to them, and then they copy that to somewhere else, and that's their idea of integration, then yeah, this isn't in our realm, because there's so many off-the-shelf offerings that provide that type of generic functionality. But if they are looking for specific integration, this is very much in our wheelhouse, where we can take, like we would use S3 as the backbone for
Right.
the document management, and that much is simple. It's so easy. It's not even funny. But the integration is what's key here. And we have no idea what that is. We have no clue what that is. Well, okay. I guess we can start back at number one. So, what are all the aspects of the field exam, and what do you mean by manage them? I mean, that would be my question for number one. Do you think we're actually getting answers to this? Because okay, well, never mind. We'll just see how it goes. We already said number two. Is there an existing calendar? Is there an existing schedule, or do you need us to build that for you? That's the question for number two.
Number four, system generated form letters. I assume the application would have to generate form letters, so we need to know what form letters are and how they need to be generated.
Can you provide a sample form letter for number four? Customized report generator for creation of various management reports. Again,
how many management reports? What and
what data do you want it included in these reports?
Yeah, like various management reports. If they have like 1,500 management reports that need to be built, then
in what way do they need to be customized? Meaning, do the management need to be able to choose what data goes in the report, or do they need to be able to like put a different like header on the report? Are these reports generated on demand, or are they generated automatically at a regular schedule? How fresh does the data need to be? Does it need to be real-time data, or is it aggregated in like rolling 30 or monthly? That's another question. To Darius' point on the next one, is there an existing public web portal that we are integrating with, or are we building out an entirely new public web portal? And if so, if so, how do we control access? Like, do people need to sign up with an email address? Do these email addresses need to be approved before the person can access the filings?
I mean, that bullet point is an entire project in itself. That's a major point of contention for me, because with ability to attach all required supporting documents, I mean, what does that mean?
Right. I 100% agree with you. Or it could be a whole separate project, or it could be a nothing burger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's a good thing to ask.
Is this a nothing burger?
Yeah.
Ability to scan manual filing and supporting. We already touched on that.
Yeah.
We already have a question to that. Fully integrated with SEB's workflow. The question is, can you provide an example of what SEB's workflow looks like? Manage.
This next one, the next two are identical in that the question just needs to be like, what does this mean?
Manage all only state registered entities and individuals. That sentence doesn't even make sense.
Yep.
So, I'm assuming it means manage all state registered entities and individuals. Yeah. In what?
Or manage only state registered. I guess those mean the same thing. So maybe they're just emphasizing.
So I guess the question is, what does manage mean? Does that mean, do you want the ability to delete entities? Do you want the ability to edit entities?
Or what are they protecting against? How would we how would we manage registered entities or individuals that had nothing to do with the state of Hawaii? Like, where would that data be coming from that they would be worried that we would be managing something that wasn't related to the state of Hawaii?
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Well, so that's a good question. Is you just said when we log into the state system, we can update certain things about our company. So are we talking about they want the entities themselves to be able to log in and update their information, or are they saying they want employees of the agency to go in and manage state registered entities and individuals? And yeah, and so and again, like for example, for me, if I were an admin, which it sounds like this is an admin functionality, I would want the ability to delete a state registered entity. Um, but that is just me making a wild ass guess. Management could mean like, do they want the ability to upload documents associated with each entity? Do they want the ability to like change the entity's name? Do they want the ability to correct typos?
And it's not necessarily only admin functionality. I mean, bullet point 6 is a public web portal.
That's right. That's what I'm saying is Abe brought up a good point where he said, we are logging in and we're updating our information.
Yeah.
We're not calling up the state of Florida and say, hey, can you log in and change our information on your portal? So yeah, who is doing the managing is a huge question, and again, exponentially changes the cost layout. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we would need to know what aspects they would want to manage would be.
Well, yeah, except I'm not sure I entirely agree with that. So we need to clarify on point 6 what the non-admin access actually grants users to do, because there's a public access reviewing filings, but there's also a public web portal with the ability to attach required supporting documents. So just giving users the ability to attach documents, you're already way beyond just basic viewing of filings.
True, because at that point you have to have user accounts, and you have to have verified user accounts, because to Abe's point, I can go in to Gunner Technology on the state of Florida and upload a document for Gunner Technology, but I can't go to like another company's profile and upload a document.
And you can only do so in state. So,
right.
Like cover bullet point 9 there, all only state. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. All only. So I guess, but what we would call this is, like in the industry, this is called access management. What are the access management rules? Which basically means who gets to do what. So a lot of systems will have like an admin role. They'll have like a moderator role. They'll have like a account executive role. They'll have a guest role. They'll have an owner role. And each of these roles will be allowed very different access to a profile and be given much different rights to that. For example, what's not even clear to me is, again, using Gunner Technology as an example, I can go to the state of Florida and I can view Gunner Technology's information, a lot of the information. Are they saying the same thing, that anyone can go to this web portal and view anyone else's information, or can they only view their information?
Well, yeah, and actually, just to jump way back up, the very first paragraph, the last sentence, this solution should address the needs of both branches and allow differing access levels of designated employees of the respective branches. So one question would be, what is the complete list of access levels that need to be implemented in the application, and what do those access levels give or grant rights to?
Right. That's right. So the last question: manage relevant documents not submitted or maintained through FINRA.
This is another one where it's,
like I thought this was about.
What?
I thought this is about managing documents in general. What does this have to do with not? What does this have to do with FINRA?
Yeah, I guess that's the question for this is FINRA, looking it up, has to do with FINRA's like a nonprofit. It's a completely separate entity, but it works with the SEC.
Right. It's a watchdog. It's like a watchdog.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. Yep. So the question would be, what are you trying to accomplish with this bullet point?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And again, it's a vague question, but
they have to have a goal in mind with that bullet point. And I don't know why they weren't explicit with what the goal is, but I just don't know what they're like. There must be some integration point, direct integration point between the SEC and FINRA, and certain documents aren't. Like maybe they need to be able to mark documents as like do not share with FINRA or something like that. But I'm just not sure what they're trying to accomplish there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Although Abe, as you're talking again, I almost view that as the opposite. Like when you're talking, I imagine, and again, this is based on, I don't know, my brain activity and nothing else. To me,
that's only the rare thing.
to me, what that actually says is there might actually be an existing solution that integrates directly with FINRA, and it pulls all documents from FINRA and it kind of syncs the documents with FINRA. And what they're saying is, without specifically saying, which I don't know why they wouldn't specifically say it, we know that there are existing solutions out there that we can plug and play that will pull documents back and forth between FINRA. We want to make sure that this solution is not just that.
Okay, man. Sounds good. Thank you. All right. Take care. So yeah, I guess we should ask these questions, and like I'd be curious what they came back with, because I think it would give a lot of.
Well,
yeah, just email them directly. Like I think we'll learn a lot based on their responses, whether this is wired for somebody or whether they just didn't write a very good SOW. Yeah, that sounds good. Just send it our way, and I think we have a question on basically every single bullet point on the second page is a question. And then there was one that was from the first paragraph, last sentence about access rights. But I think if we ask about all that stuff, that should do pretty well.
I mean, I would like there's no way that they're going to watch it all, but you may want to include a link to this and be like, here's our discussion based on your RFQ RFP. It's an RFQ. RFQ. Here's our questions. And by the way, it's long, so you don't, just for your edification, you may want to watch this and see the thought process that went behind these questions, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yo también. I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay. Later.